Tourism has been given the political will to move forward as an emerging sector in Guyana with great potential to contribute significantly to the country's gross domestic product. In this week's edition of Guyana 411, which coincides with the launch of Tourism Awareness Month 2015, we will be taking an in-depth look at Guyana's tourism industry, the government's vision for the sector, the products we have to offer, some of the challenges faced, and what we are really doing to develop tourism in Guyana. This is Guyana 411, a Gina production, and I'm Azim Khan. Stay tuned. Guyana's tourism sector is expected to generate over 1,500 direct jobs in the next 5 years and is also expected to witness a higher rate of visitor arrival with an expanded menu of tourism products and services. In this presentation, we share with you the vision of the government for tourism development in Guyana. The government has designated tourism as a priority sector for sustainable economic development, as its 2020 vision for the sector is one which sustains Guyana's image on the international scene.
The vision for Tourism 2020 is that we see this as Guyana being the leading sustainable tourism destination in one of the leading sustainable tourism destination in the world. Basically, the tourism industry in Guyana is significantly important to the country's economy and to the country's development. The Cooperative Republic of Guyana is committed to developing the tourism industry in a responsible manner that is environmentally sensitive, supports the protection of the country's cultural and natural resources, and provides tangible benefits to the people and local communities of Guyana.
With the wealth of the world-class natural tourism attractions including vast trails of wilderness, rainforests, river systems, mountains, and a variety of cultural and historic recognition of the country's abundant natural resources, Guyana's tourism product continues to grow and attract significant interest from investors and visitors alike. Recognizing the impact of this dynamic sector, the coalition government is investing heavily in developing tourism in Guyana.
Our government has recognized the need to delink tourism as a sector in its own right. It is our intention to at least double the tourism marketing budget over the next 5 years in an effort to scale up our presence in targeted fora and media. The most recent marketing review has found that Guyana's best-selling option is to take advantage of its relative anonymity as a tourist destination, and under the Guyana South America Undiscovered Marketing Initiative, it is expected that more visitors will originate from target markets than previously.
For tourism to flourish, a cross-sectoral approach is required among government, private sector, and civil society to ensure a visitor experience that results in repeat visits and positive marketing of Guyana. The government believes that with the commitment to the development of the industry, it can contribute to the sustainable development of Guyana, earn foreign exchange, and provide job opportunities while conserving the natural environment.
Our APNU plus AFC government's commitment and priority to tourism is undoubtedly evidenced by the fact that tourism today is a separate ministry with responsibility for consumer protection, and for the first time in history has given unwavering focus for this sector to grow as an independent, standalone ministry. Tourism, therefore, is best poised to deliver to this nation on our 2015 budget theme by journeying on a fresh start to the good life in a green economy. Tourism is poised to provide the good life by our unique tourism product and experience, which we can build on the foundation of a green economy that supports conservation, sustainability, care, and respect for the environment.
The sector's contribution to Guyana's gross domestic product has been valued at $64 million to $220 million annually or up to 8.8%. These figures demonstrate the capacity of the sector to provide much-needed jobs to the nation's unemployed young people.
A project which will attract financing from the Caribbean Development Bank will be initiated, and an appropriate model of a tourism hospitality school will be executed. Further, in bridging the coastland-hinterland divide, government will accelerate efforts to implement the Hinterland Tourism Development Plan and aim to generate vibrant and sustainable livelihoods within communities across our country. The cost of internal travel, as well as the cost of airlift to Guyana, will also be reviewed to improve accessibility among our regions. Altogether, the sector is expected to generate over 1,500 direct jobs in the next 5 years and witness a higher rate of increase of visitor arrivals with an expanded menu of tourism products and services.
The Ministry of Tourism and the Guyana Tourism Authority will also continue to focus on training, as there are plans to approach the Carnegie School of Home Economics to conceptualize special training for persons working in this growing sector. The National Tourism Policy is already being formulated. This policy will identify niche markets and areas of strategic advantage, such as the exotic local biodiversity, flora and fauna, pristine rainforest, and vast rivers with exciting potential for water sports and waterfalls.
Product development is, of course, the primary area. To develop tourism, you need to have a product that is competitive. I don't think anyone would dispute the fact that Guyana does have a competitive tourism product based on the fact that we have abundant nature. We have, as the poster name shows, we have birds. We have biodiversity and interesting biodiversity on which we can base a particular kind of tourism. Apart from that, we have cultural traditions that are of interest to visitors worldwide, as well as to our domestic visitors who might not be so au fait with some of the maybe stranger kinds of cultural practices that we have.
International destinations have been selling Guyana at various highly populated events as expos and birding fairs, and this is only because the country has been growing in stature as a tourism destination. With all the potential that Guyana possesses and the vision of the government to heighten attention to the natural beauty of this South American nation, Guyana as a tourism destination has a far way to go. Guyana is internationally known for its unique brand of hospitality that causes visitors to want to return. Therefore, it is only natural that our country is blessed with an abundance of natural beauty, be allowed to explore and develop its tourism potential with the aim of furthering and capitalizing on an already positive image.
Guyana's untouched beauty, distinctive cultural heritage, and natural attractions make it an ideal destination for tourists. As opposed to the sun and sand tourism product offered by many of its Caribbean neighbors, Guyana offers a diverse product. Flowing waterfalls, never-ending rivers, mountains, golden beaches beneath which lies the El Dorado, forests that even nature has forgotten, the black water that refreshes, and many historical sites in its capital city. Georgetown, the capital city of Guyana, is well known for its beautiful tree-lined avenues, bustling markets, and the colonial-style buildings, including the world-renowned St. George's Cathedral that is touted as the world's tallest wooden building, and the City Hall, which was placed on the World Monuments Watch list. The city provides a wave of social activities that form an integral part of the country's unique hospitality. For a quieter atmosphere, one can relax at the poolside at the many hotels in the city or on its outskirts. Then there is the nightlife that offers a wide array of entertainment. Whether you decide to put on your heels and dance to lovely soca Latino, chutney, or calypso music at a nightclub, or enjoy our beautiful local cuisines at restaurants at some of the popular night spots on Sheriff, Main, or Lamaha Street, you will discover that the country's nightlife is never boring. The majestic Kaitro Falls, the world's largest single-drop waterfall, and 5 times larger than the Niagara Falls, is just one of the 275 waterfalls that the country is blessed with. The country can also boast of its many lakes and vast untouched forest, abundant wildlife, numerous species of flora, and a variety of fauna, and is one of the richest biodiversity locations in South America. These sites are accessed by land, air, and river and served by high-quality eco-resorts in the interior.
We want persons to travel, to experience, to explore, and to enjoy this beautiful country and the beautiful people who live in these remote parts. I was part of a survey that was being done by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the Amazon Cooperation Treaty Organization on an assessment of cohesion in isolated indigenous communities, all with the view to assist these communities in planning and organizing and bringing development, and to see how connected they are with the basic services, etc., and with tourism, as many of the coastal communities enjoy. Culinary tourism is an important aspect. Agro-tourism is very important here because lots of opportunities for agro processing and value added here as well.
I don't know if the event is what you envisioned 11 years ago today, but where do you see this actual activity maybe
Well,
in another 5 years or so?
Well, from where it is now, I see that we can, with the right partners now, with the community, with Indigenous Affairs Ministry and other partners, and here I'm talking about private sector partners because we need to work closely with the private sector so that they can have an interest in this community and these events, because currently DigiCell and some others are major sponsors. But I see in 5 years this event returning to what it used to be, a showpiece for the talent, the creativity, and the skills, and also the culture of this unique region of Guyana. The people here are very, very friendly, very, very hospitable, and they need to share this with not only Guyanese, but with the region and with the rest of the world.
With worldwide growth in adventure, cultural, and ecotourism, Guyana's appeal as an alternative to the standard Caribbean and sun and sand destination is undiscovered by its market niches such as bird watching, sport fishing, and yachting.
In the area of yachts and marinas, we have had quite a number of persons interested in hotels, in resorts. Just a few days ago, we met with another group who is keen in developing water-based tourism and things like surfing and kayaking in the Essequibo region, and we might be paying a site visit this Sunday. So a lot of persons are interested. We will be producing a tourism-specific investment guide by the end of this month, which is Tourism Awareness Month as well, and a tourism investment brochure would be completed this month so that these can be tools to help us as we try to attract investments across the world. Guyana presents numerous opportunities for investments, and investments can really, really help to transform our tourism product and to contribute to the amazing experience persons can get in Destination Guyana. We are also looking to enhance the visual appeal of Destination Guyana, and you can see already the efforts of the City Hall in cleaning up the city, in restoring the Garden City, and right away you can see the visual improvements that have been made. It's jaw-dropping basically, because the perception was that we are a dirty people in a dirty city. Now that perception is changing. I've been around to quite a number of meetings across the Caribbean recently, and yes, people have noticed the dramatic change in our environment. And we need to continue to keep it clean, to keep it green, to keep it pristine. And we need to do much more to beautify and to take pride in our surroundings, and so that it is welcoming for all our visitors. Because one of the things people would like to do is when they come to a country, they like to visit the capital city. And so you can see the commitment and the concerted effort on behalf of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Ministry of Tourism and so many other stakeholders, including the City Hall and the private sector, who have come on board, and not to forget the citizens who are making this possible by not littering and by disposing of their garbage in a safe and environmentally sound manner. On the product front as well, like I said, we are looking at diversification, we are looking at development, we are looking at innovation, we are looking at attracting investments and new investments. We are looking at standards and compliance, compliance to quality, to safety, to service, to security, so that we can offer a better product.
There is also numerous opportunities resulting from the construction of many hotels, including the Marriott Hotel and the Princess Hotel at Providence, the expansion of the Chedijagan International Airport, and vastly improved status of the domestic Ogle International Airport. Blessed with 6 cultures, merged together by the independence of one people, Guyana can be described as a multi-ethnic, multicultural society. Whether it is celebrating Amerindian Heritage Month or Mashomani, Diwali or Pagua, Eid, Emancipation or Christmas, you will find every Guyanese participating and experiencing each other's tradition. Visitors can also enjoy the country's local cuisine such as pepper pot, curry, cook-up, metem, sweetmeats, cassava bread, roti, conky, egg ball, puri, farine, mabi, ginger beer, fresh cane juice, and coconut water, just to name a few. The government is in the process of formulating a tourism strategy that will see the massive tourism potential that we just spoke about of being promoted in a bigger way, both in the hinterland and on the coast. Additionally, a real hinterland zoological park will be established that will ensure tourism products in the hinterland are utilized for the benefit of these communities.
Whilst the tourism sector is well poised to take off and deliver to Guyana a product that is second to none in the Caribbean, there are quite a few challenges that the industry faces. Some of the key areas of deficiency lie with the access, financing, infrastructure, competitiveness, distribution, and a hospitality institute.
A number of areas require urgent attention for Guyana's tourism industry to reap bountifully from the potential that obtains. Among the challenges facing the sector are inadequate airlift or connectivity within Guyana, lack of adequate financing to execute much-needed programs and policies, and the distribution and packaging of the local tourism product in a competitive manner. A hospitality institute is certainly needed to train stakeholders to meet the standard of the industry and the tourism satellite accounting, which tracks tourism-related movements and spending.
In terms of infrastructure, we know that we wish that access could be better, could be more efficient and of a higher standard, especially where some of our interior locations are concerned. Road trips to the south of Guyana could be enjoyably challenging.
Whilst joint efforts are underway to improve airlift and connectivity which ultimately generate tourism traffic to destination Guyana, the improvement of the road infrastructure, the cost of fuel, taxes and value-added tax along with the subsidies for fuel are being looked at by the administration. These factors have a direct cost for travel to destinations within Guyana.
Weak infrastructure in many instances, from airports to airstrips and stellings and wharves, and generally the road infrastructure. This is an area that is receiving constant attention from the government of Guyana, and this is an area of major concern that we all need to improve so that we can cover a lot of distance in a faster time, in a more efficient way, and in a more cost-effective manner as well, because all of these lead to higher prices.
The challenge of adequate budgetary financing is being addressed as the administration would have committed to doubling the marketing budget within the next 5 years. This is evidenced by a 25% increase in this year's budgetary allocation. More finance provides for an aggressive tourism marketing strategy, which will see Guyana being much more recognized at international trade shows and key markets. Additionally, an improved budget will help to create a master plan for tourism development.
One of the other challenges for Guyana is to expand and extend distribution. Like any other product in the world, tourism has to be properly distributed. It has to be accessible. It has to be available everywhere in the world. And so that persons can be able to purchase a holiday or a package or a vacation to Guyana. Currently, we are working on expanding distribution. That's why we are at the World Travel Market, looking at world-class tour operators and international tour operators that can add Destination Guyana to their catalog and to their calendar. Another key limitation is good packaging and pricing. Guyana is perceived to be an expensive destination, and with good packaging and pricing, we can change all of that. For instance, we have a massive festival of lights, Diwali, and we find that not a lot of good packaging is done to promote the culture with the other tourism offering, like come to Kite Shore, see our wildlife, experience our culture, consume our food, and spend a wonderful time in Guyana. So we are working on improving our packaging, how we package tourism to offer a very competitive and a very compelling product. Another key area is competitive. On the International Competitive Index, Guyana is not well ranked, but we are using these indicators as benchmarks to improve our competitiveness as a destination, because tourism is a very, very competitive business. The visitors and tourists are very demanding, and they're very discerning, and they have very, very high expectations of destinations they visit as well. So we are working on improving not only price competitiveness, but accessibility, infrastructure, information, awareness, quality, service, safety, security, etc. One of the other things that Guyana is lacking is we do not track tourism's size and contribution to our GDP. And that's because we do not have what is called tourism satellite accounting. But government of Guyana is very keen on implementing this. Matter of fact, just 1 hour ago, right in this boardroom, we were on a Skype conference call with the Caribbean Tourism Organization, looking at the strategies, how we can implement tourism satellite accounting. And it was a collaborative effort between the Guyana Tourism Authority, Ministry of Tourism, and the Guyana Bureau of Statistics. So we were all here talking with the Caribbean Tourism Organization via Skype. And government is committed to implementing tourism satellite accounting, and we are looking at the questionnaires at the moment, and we would have persons from the CTO here before the end of this year to do a readiness assessment of where we are and to do find the information gaps so that we can be well on our way to implementing tourism satellite accounting, so that we can know the size and the contribution and the impact of tourism on Guyana's GDP and basically on our economy.
A hospitality institute will serve to provide those in the tourism industry with critical training in hospitality management that is needed so as to ensure a viable tourism product is delivered to visiting patrons. In this regard, Guyana has invited the director of the Hospitality College in Barbados to assist with the phased implementation of a local hospitality institute. The additional challenge of how Guyanese as a people see themselves and as a result entreat their environment is one of the most impacting challenges for a country considering the status of tourist destination.
For too long we've told ourselves that we are a dirty people. We are people that can't keep the place tidy and so on. So now that we're seeing concerted efforts to refashion Georgetown, and this trend, I am sure, will spread to other parts of the city, other parts of the country. Of course, other parts of the country were not as in a deteriorated state as the city. But I think the more that this trend spreads, the more we're going to be seeing at this deeper level this change in the national psyche that will prompt us to take another look at ourselves, make us see ourselves as persons who can take care of our dead, treat our dead with more respect by having our cemeteries in a much better state, by having our public conveniences in a better state, by ordering ourselves in a better way on the road, our avenues, our parapets, our green spaces, and so on. So challenges there are, but we are more aware of the challenges, and we're tapping into the goodwill we're seeing in some places to help us to overcome some of these challenges.
With these challenges being addressed via the establishment of a number of key stakeholder partnerships and a national tourism policy, Guyana's tourism industry will blossom.
The prestigious National Geographic Traveler magazine listed Guyana amongst 21 must-see destinations to visit in 2014, alongside other recognized places such as the Nahanni National Park of Canada and the Rocky Mountains National Park, Colorado, USA. Since then, Destination Guyana was rebranded Guyana South America Undiscovered, and efforts have been intensified to broaden the spread of the Guyana brand to enhance visibility and image. To this end, the Ministry of Tourism, with support from the Guyana Tourism Authority, has adopted a targeted market-led and market-driven approach aimed at selling Guyana's comparative advantages. This new strategy has the following as some of its goals: expanding sales and distribution network, conducting comprehensive market research, encouraging awareness of the multitude of local attractions by working closely with communities, and hosting media familiarization trips for selected international media from world-renowned publications and news agencies.
We're looking increasingly at a number of trade shows. We are increasing also our advertising efforts in the marketplace to be in more of the niche markets and niche publications to attract more visitors to Guyana. We are also, like I said, working seriously in expanding our sales distribution network so that we can have more international tour operators selling Destination Guyana. In a few weeks' time, we'll be hosting a media fam from the United States, and it includes the Huffington Post, writers who write for the USA Today, National Geographic, etc. So they'll be here on a media familiarization tour to help promote Destination Guyana in the mainstream American media. The Black media group would also be here because that's an important target and a segment for tourism as well.
The new strategy also includes several initiatives to strengthen strategic alliances with international and regional countries. This effort is aimed at better facilitating benefits from mutual visitor flow, air links, technical assistance, and participation from state shows. An MOU was signed with Barbados in this regard.
In the MOU, Guyana will collaborate with Barbados with multi-destination tourism, ensuring that tourists can come to both Barbados for the sun, sand, sea experience and can come to Guyana for the nature, community-based, ecotourism, adventure tourism product. We will cooperate in attending trade shows, joint participation in trade shows, joint advertising, technical assistance, reciprocal technical assistance, training, capacity building for both countries, participating in each other's trade show like GuyExpo and BMX in Barbados, technical assistance in lots of key areas, also assistance in policy and planning. We are planning also to do a road show in Barbados in the next quarter of 2016 or the first quarter of 2016, and they will assist in facilitating this. We will also have familiarization trips between the two countries, both for our tour operators and their tour operators, to facilitate the networking so that on both sides we can sell each other's destination. And also there'll be a familiarization trip for the media on both sides so that the Barbados media can come to Guyana and tell Barbadians about Destination Guyana, and for the Guyanese media to be in Barbados to come back and tell Guyanese about the vacation experience and the attractions in Barbados.
There are also strategic alliances with the local non-governmental organizations such as Conservation International and with the private sector to encourage awareness of the multitude of local attractions.
We had worked collaboratively to establish what is now called the Visit Rupununi, and we would have established just last week a first visitor information center in the Rupununi. We are also collaborating very, very closely with the Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana in a lot of areas, including Restaurant Week, which was recently launched and which commences from the 6th of November through the 15th of November. So lots of areas of collaboration with the private sector.
Guyana's capacity to develop its nature-based tourism product and the niche products and activities that already exist have an attraction for visitors. Going forward, the strategy is to improve the kind of quantity of investments by proposing new incentives for tourism operators to encourage them to improve their product and services.
In the area of yachts and marinas, we've had quite a number of persons interested in hotels, in resorts. Just a few days ago, we met with another group who is keen in developing water-based tourism and things like surfing and kayaking in the Essecubo region, and we might be paying a site visit this Sunday. So a lot of persons are interested. We will be producing a tourism-specific investment guide by the end of this month, which is Tourism Awareness Month as well, and a tourism investment brochure would be completed this month, so that these can be tools to help us as we try to attract investments across the world.
An array of across-the-board investment incentive is also available to foreign and domestic investors in the sector. Concessions are limited to 50% of the value added of the investment for new projects and 25% for renovation and extension to existing hotels.
The tourism sector in Guyana is an emerging sector, and as such, the government of Guyana has an incentive program to assist the tourism sector. And this incentive program is by way of waive of duty and taxes on equipment, furnishing and fixtures that is necessary for the sector. It's divided in two sections. We have hotels and we have eco resorts. Also, they have the water skis that is now coming on stream. The hotels, for you to qualify for tax exemption, it has to be 15 rooms and over. If it's a new hotel, you are granted a waiver of duty and taxes on building materials, your furnishing and your fixtures. You're also entitled to transportation, which is by way of a 9-seater minivan and above.
Companies are also eligible once every 5 years for these packages of incentives. There are also several initiatives to train those involved in the industry to deliver high-quality services. Focal areas for training are on customer service, front office cooperation, awareness and sensitization, plus first aid for boat operators, taxi drivers, and other first contact service providers.
The Guyana Tourism Authority is one of the key agencies that lead in tourism training and capacity building in Guyana. We would have trained hundreds of persons across Guyana for this year so far. We have some key training coming up. We would have just completed Dutch language training at our border at Molson Creek, and that is to prepare our Guyanese counterparts at Kanawaima Ferry, the security personnel, port health, customs and immigration in conversational Dutch. And so we would have produced a booklet in conversational Dutch and a CD to accompany that to help with customer service. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be doing Portuguese language training at the border at Letem. We would have completed Spanish language training at the Chedijagan International Airport.
Special emphasis is also on developing in the populace the skills and knowledge to facilitate and encourage tourism in Guyana. Then there are efforts to enhance the visual appeal of Guyana with the restoration of the Garden City. Over the last 10 years, visitor arrivals to Guyana have been increasing significantly, and in 2013 it was one of the 3 countries in the Caribbean to record double-digit growth, with a 13.3% increase in arrivals. Today, as government employs an integrated and inclusive approach to tourism product development, involving all respective ministries and regional bodies, the sector will be propelled to greater heights. This has brought us to the end of this week's edition of Guyana 411, where the focus was on highlighting Guyana's tourism sector, which is poised to bring the good life for all under the coalition government's 2020 vision. Do remember that Guyana 411 is a government information agency program which is found with all other GINA programs on our website www.gina.gov.gy. Until next time, be good citizens and look out for each other. And remember to support the government in achieving its vision of a good life for all.